What's up, people? Jonathan Wiseman here, JWeisMarketing.com, and today is another episode of The Grit. I've got Steven Plash here with me, and he's got a dope-ass company that we're going to talk about, getting into the details of it. It's an e-commerce business platforms where he sells products. So if you sell any products online, merchant services, e-commerce, any of that type of shit, this podcast is going to be for you. Whoo! Sorry, I had too many drinks. So we're going to get right into this. Steven, what's happening, brother? Thanks for coming on the show.
What's going on, Jonathan?
Man, just grinding. I was checking out your products and your website. I haven't had a chance to see them in person yet. I used to build trucks a little bit back in the day. I say I built them. I didn't personally. I had somebody that did. And we used a lot of different LED lights, and I used to play around with ATVs and go get stupid in the mud. And the first thing I thought about when I landed on your website was that would have been some dope shit to have back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to take it back, though. I believe it's all about LED lighting for different applications.
Correct, yeah. That's all we do is LED.
Simply, I mean, it's that simple. LED lighting.
The days of halogen are gone. The days of high-pressure sodium, the days of all the other types of lighting are pretty much, it's LED now, and then you've got some stuff in the works. It's like laser that's coming out.
Really? Laser, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, let's go ahead and take it back and I want to hear your story. I want to hear how you got started in the business. We're going to talk about the ups and downs, the nitty gritty. And anybody that's watching, if you get value from this, if you know Steven directly, if this brings you value, whether you're in the lighting business or in e-commerce, we'd love for you to go ahead and leave a review, share this, share it with others so we can get the word out there. But let's dive right in. Let's tell me how you got started into the LED business.
Man, it's a means of necessity. You know, I couldn't afford the lighting that I wanted. At the time, this was 2007. I was at the motocross, Houston NRG, and there was this Toyota Tundra that just started strobing at the end. And I was like, what in the hell is that? I got to have it.
Yeah.
Always been the guy that walks in the room and turns on all the light switches, adds accent lighting. You know, I've always had kind of a lighting problem. So when I saw that,
in a good way.
Yeah. A lot of my best customers have lighting problems.
Yeah. When you were at motocross, was it for bikes or were they doing some?
Yeah, it was motocross. Yeah.
Okay, so they were just racing bikes and doing different shows and shit.
They just had
they always had that truck drive around the stadium or whatever, and it was going crazy.
So I went online right then and I ordered a 10-inch rigid bar, $450. Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
And this was how long ago? 2007? So over 10 years ago, and it was still $450. Mm-hmm. They're expensive as shit.
Yeah. So once I played around with that guy, put it on my ATV, drove through the mud, realized that was the future. This is what we need to be using for everything. So then I kind of just took that mentality to my bow fishing boat that had some halogen lights duct taped to the front rail. Had a Generac generator, which was a royal piece of shit. The whole boat vibrated. It was just a terrible setup.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So scoured the internet, ran across this site called Alibaba. You know, what's all this shit? All right, cool. Let me try to order some of this stuff. Met some people on there and got some stuff in a couple weeks, a month. And most of it I said it was okay. It was junk. There were some good ones. There were some bad ones. And so I kind of just took all those parts and I did what I call Frankenstein in them. And I built my own lights for my boat. And with the rest of the parts, I put it back together and I sold it on Craigslist.
Real cool.
It was that simple. I'm like, all right, so now my boat's good. I just made it, doubled my money, and I got free lights for my boat. I'm like, well, shit, let me try this again. And so I just did that over and over again. And I had a $100,000 a year job, construction superintendent. They were working the dog piss out of me.
I was going to ask, how old were you when you started the business? Or when all this was going on before it was a business?
Yeah, so I started doing this in, probably 2009, 2009. So that's when it started. I didn't really start Plash lights until 2012. That's when I filed for the tax ID.
2012?
Yeah, but there was a year or 2 years where I was slinging them out of the garage.
Yeah. I mean, that's how most of the best stories start. Mm-hmm. I mean, doing it for yourself, little fixer-upper, Frankenstein, as you said.
Mm-hmm. Have a lot of customers that still come by that I've known since I was in my garage. Single car garage that, barely had a workbench. Makes this place look, really large. And
I'll take that as a compliment.
We just made it work. I didn't have the parents to send me to college. I didn't have and I went to community college for a couple weeks. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't the type of the workforce that I wanted to go into. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you the same thing before we started the show. I'm a high school dropout at the age of 17 and started with a $300 inheritance, and Dad was like, get the fuck out or live by my rules. I said, peace, and started there. And that's the best education you can get, in my opinion. It's get out there and grind, and you got to figure it out. Luckily, starting your business, you said you had a superintendent job bringing in a decent amount of income. Did you use that to help fund this project to get it off the ground?
Absolutely not. I was terrible with money. I was in debt, house, car, credit cards, boat, probably a stupid generator. I think I was $45,000 in debt when I started this company. I applied for a Discover card, $5,000, and I said, hey, I'm going to put everything on this Discover card. I'm in it for $5,000. Let's see what happens. And
that's how it started.
Just doubled and doubled and doubled, and next thing you know, there's 30 credit cards now that I have, and lines of credit. But there was a $5,000 credit card.
So it all started with a $5,000 credit card off some good credit.
That's it.
There you go.
Wasn't even that good of credit.
There you go. I mean, that's the fucking story of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So this was 2012ish.
This was probably 2010.
At what point did you start generating some money to where you were like, wow, this is actually an opportunity not just to get my own stuff for free and outfit all my toys, but this could also, be a substantial business model to make a profit? Was there a certain point or aha moment that you had from toying with it and Frankensteining it to where, okay, I see dollar signs and opportunity here?
I knew I didn't have the credit. I knew I didn't have the capital to go all in. So I put all the profits back in the company. Did that for a year and a half. And then there was that aha moment one day where my boss is telling me I'm getting this new job coming up. I just finished this one project in the museum district, and they wanted to move me to the north side of Houston, which was against my policy. I don't go north of I-10.
Okay.
And he said, hey, you're our youngest superintendent, you're our best, and we're going to give you our biggest project to date, and it'll be the biggest tilt wall project in Houston. And I hated tilt walls anyway. And I was like, man, I made $10,000 today. I'm not feeling this anymore. Is what I was thinking. And he goes, now if you can't be 100% committed on this, we need to talk about it. And I said, well, let's talk about it, because I'm about 50% committed, and that's not fair to you, and it's not fair to me. And we had a lunch a day or two later, and that was it. We went our mutual ways. I came back and I finished that project I was on, and made sure all those loose ends were tied up for the next couple of months. And we just worked like a hybrid. It wasn't fully a salary.
Yeah. So you exited out of the business respectfully, and it was just time for you to move on and start your own business. And you just said that you made $10,000 in a day, and that was off of Plash lights. It was off of selling the LED lights.
Yeah.
And Plash lights, obviously, your last name is Plash.
Right.
So
a lot of people don't understand what the play on flashlights is. Well, it's my last name is Plash.
Okay.
So that's where it came from. Believe it or not, I didn't even come up with a company name.
Who did?
I knew I needed to brand the lights.
Uh-huh.
So I got a couple of my good friends, Robert, Sean, and I think Pat was there. And we went to Twin Peaks and said, look, hey, I got it. It's on me. We got to come up with a company name. And as soon as the beers got there, we started on it, and I swear it wasn't 20 seconds. Nobody said anything. That was the first one that came up, Plash lights, and I was like, that's it.
That was it.
You guys just got a free lunch.
When you hear it, you know.
Right.
It's something you feel, you hear, and it's just sewed up, done deal.
Right.
So, well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Plash lights is because his last name is Plash. And so we're an LED company, right?
Right, that's it.
So tell me what the applications are for LED.
Man,
I know boats, as you were talking about earlier. Obviously, we're seeing them all over trucks. But break it down. ATVs, what else can we put these on?
So, of course, the marine market is our largest market. Probably 80% of our customers, it's for their boats or their boat dock, their boat trailer, their palapa on their boat dock, something on the marine side. The automotive side has been huge. We did millions and millions of dollars in 2014 because of the 50-inch light bar boom. Everybody wanted a light bar on their truck. But the automotive side is super saturated now. That's why we focus on the marine. But we do so many other things that people don't know that we do. We're a lighting consultant. Like I said, I have a lighting problem. Well, if I see someone, it could be my local restaurant, it could be the school down the street. If there's a problem with lighting, I bring it up and say, hey, I can help you if you're interested. And 9 times out of 10, people don't care. But then you'll find that one person, and we'll fix it up. So it could be like I said, the bar, it could be the restaurant, could be the park.
Just like anywhere that you plug in a light bulb, you can take this anywhere.
Well, I went and did a bid for Friendswood the other day. They wanted to light up the city hall, and they wanted to make it RGB where it could change colors and then also have the white ability. And they had I'll say he's an electrician, but I think it's just an assistant around there, just the guy that gets stuff done, the maintenance guy.
Sure.
And he had a bunch of Amazon lights there, and half of them had moisture in it. He'd caulked them all. It looked terrible. The outcome wasn't that good. They weren't lasting, and that's why they called me in.
Yeah, and I want to get into the integrity of the product and what differentiates you from your competitors that are out there in this market. As you're saying, is really saturated in the automotive space. And as well as, of course, when you get into Amazon and other places like that, you're just getting shitty products. You're getting stuff sent from overseas where they don't care, and they're able to, bottom out the pricing just to flip numbers.
Even a lot of the products in the United States right now that are out there that have a local name on it are private label Chinese junk.
Yeah.
And they're selling out, putting their name on it, trying to get it at a premium price where it looks very similar to a premium product, but you're getting the leftovers from stuff that's 5 or 10 years old or old technology that they're trying to get rid of and blow out.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Nobody makes anything in this country anymore.
Yeah, that's
what we're trying to change.
Yeah, I like that.
Myself included.
Yeah, well, I want to jump into the Marines and the Marine industry, and we're talking about the boats, the trailers. I would assume that there's, other than just for lighting purposes, there's obviously some good advantages of having light on your trailer if you're docking in the evening, or if you have them on your dock, whether it's just to hang out for mood lighting or to do some little fishing off the dock in the evening. I know that the light attracts. Then when you put them on the boats, is a lot of that also on the boats? I'm not a fishing guy. I love going out there, but I don't know shit about it.
Right.
Did the lights on the boats attract fish? Is that why you originally did it, or you just wanted to see where you were going?
No, I did it for bow fishing, so I wanted to see through the water, and I wanted to shoot them with an arrow.
And you go out at night to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you go out in the spookiest places, back in the middle of nowhere with the huge alligator gars and the spiders and the bullfrogs, and look and see what kind of prehistoric creature you can bring into that boat.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously, the lights let you see in the water. Do you have lights that shine out to where you're going as well?
Yeah. So typically on a bow fishing boat or a floundering boat, they're kind of the same setup. You'll have lights that shine down like at 45 degrees, and then you'll have some running lights to get you to your point A to point B.
To where you're going.
Right.
Gotcha. Cool. And then I guess any other type of boats can obviously take advantage of those at night in the evening. Because you attach to, do you sell the fitments and the attachments and everything as well with the lights?
Yeah, so like if you want to go to your T-top or your rail, the different pipe clamps and stuff that would go to that.
Okay.
We have all that.
Cool. Gotcha. So let's move over to automotive. You said that y'all did a couple $1 million when those 50-inch light bars came out, and I kind of remember when those got popular not too long ago. They've been around for a while, but it was quickly, you could see where it went from cool shit to cheap ghetto shit. And then everybody just started having everything out there. Mm-hmm. How would you know what is a good quality light to buy versus the shit? Is there a way to detect the difference?
It's one of the hardest things that we have to do. It's to explain the difference between something that looks identical to the novice or to the naked eye. And so how can you explain it? We have to put it into pictures, because the e-commerce customer can't grab it. They can't feel that product. They can't tell you that the aluminum's thicker on this one than it is on that one. They don't know that the lens is thicker, that it's got a better coating, a UV coating. You can put all the specs on there, but pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Sure, absolutely. And a video 10 times that. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about ATVs. I've had side-by-sides and four-wheelers and all kinds of toys where we'd go out and tear it up and go mudding and tear shit up.
Big money pits.
It is. Yeah, don't let my wife see this one. The lighting. I can't tell you how many LED bars I went through where they would just go out, the cables wouldn't connect, it wouldn't stay on the battery. I mean, every single time I went out, I had light failure one way or another. And that's the scary part. Like you were saying, you go out as far as you can into the boonies, away from everybody. You're out in the middle of the forest with everything, every living creature out there at night, and your LED is what you rely on. I mean, that's your life support. And then you have a light that goes out and you're blind. It's you can't even find your way back because once you're that far out. So how is your lighting for ATVs? Does it have an application for that in use?
Yeah, so we spec all of our products for marine application, and if you could build it for marine application, it will fall down on anything below that, automotive included.
Okay.
Off-road, you want to throw mud at it, you want to take it to the car wash and blast the bugs off of it, sure.
Okay.
We got that. And there's some other things, where if you do mess up our light, if you blast it with the pressure washer too hard and it gets full of water, we fix it. All you have to do is send it to us.
That's cool.
Forever.
That's really cool. So lifetime warranty on that type of stuff.
Yeah, we're a competitor like KC, big name in the lighting business, been around forever. Everybody thinks of the smiley face. If you get moisture in their light, they call it an act of nature.
And say sorry.
Good luck. Yeah.
Gotcha. That sucks. So let's talk about some of the other competitors out there. Who do you see as, the top 3 or 4 people that you're competing with on the market? KC, I would assume Rigid's one of them.
Rigid, yes. Rigid used to be the largest one on the market, and I guess they still are, but they sold out a couple years ago.
I was going to say, do you think they're getting a little commercialized and sold out and falling off?
Yeah, and it's the perfect time for us to move in.
What happened? Why did they do that? I noticed it when I was building a couple trucks back in the day. What happened to them? Did they start overseas?
No, they still built everything here.
Okay.
They got more into the accessories. They got into lower quality LEDs where they could sell them at a cheaper price, like the Radiant series. Added the backlighting, which we came up with back in 2011, and tried to sell it to the masses versus selling a good quality product to a few.
At a higher price point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll put you out.
And now they're a big corporation, and that customer service is gone.
So where do you produce your product at?
Dickinson, Texas.
Here locally.
Mm-hmm.
You have your own warehouse and manufacturing. Mm-hmm. Everything's in-house.
Yeah. Now, we don't do everything. We do as much as we can.
Sure.
There's some products that we'll probably never make over here. The strip lights, as an example. It's just a nasty process.
Yeah.
I about lost my boots walking through the factory in China. It's 55-gallon drums everywhere. They can have that. I'll let them make that. But anything we can make over here, we're trying to make more and more of it here. We want it to start here and end up here.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And I've got this truck that I was checking out earlier. This is a H1 that you built out?
Yeah. It's my favorite truck. We got that when I was single.
Dude. I love the H1s. And that spray on those, that's crazy.
Yeah, that guy would, I could see the end of my street when I lived in Bayou Vista. And the street was a mile long.
Wow.
I could see the sign at the end.
That's crazy. So are y'all doing lights that replace the bulbs as well, or are y'all doing more of the strips and the big bars and all that?
So we do an automotive replacement headlight. It's called a LED conversion kit.
Okay, cool.
So it's plug and play, direct replacement, anywhere from 4 to 10 times brighter than your stock halogen. Same beam pattern, so you're not blind and you're not that guy. It's really one of the safest, the best upgrades you could add to your vehicle. When a customer comes in and they think that they want this 20-inch light bar to mount on their truck, I'm like, well, when are you going to turn that on?
Yeah.
When you go to the ranch, okay, yeah, that's perfect for that. But let me show you these. This is a lot better return on your investment. You can use these every day. And once they see that, I'm like, look, try them out. If you feel like you still need a light bar, come back, talk to me. I'll make it right. But I bet you'll be happy with just this.
So you're giving them lights to replacement lights, headlights,
Mm-hmm.
headlamps. Was it called headlights, headlamps?
Yeah, you still call them headlights. You still call them bulbs. It's kind of like Coke.
So y'all are just redoing them there?
Yeah.
And that's beats the purpose of getting some of these LED lights. 'Cause I think a lot of people like to get the LED lights for the cool factor. It looks cool.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, when they come to wanting to spend $400 or $500 or whatever it is, and you're like, look, just pop out some bulbs and replace them with these, you're going to have better use out of them.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense. That's a good way of doing business.
Right.
So what really separates you, if you can pick a few things that separate you from some of the competitors out there, if we could do a side-by-side comparison, what's the difference?
Where you take the product away, customer service is really one thing that I think all of our customers would say. They love dealing with us. They love our warranty. If you have a problem, we make it right. I always go back to Homes on Homes, the Make It Right slogan, those guys up in Canada.
Yeah.
They'll tear the whole house apart to build it back right. And that's one thing I learned in construction. I worked for Vaughn Construction here in Houston for about 7 years. And if something was put incorrectly, if it wasn't built towards that spec, we're going to tear it out and we're going to do it again because we owe you this and we're going to do it the right way. And that's what we do. I still have a lot of slogans, a lot of memorabilia, if you will, from when I did construction. I have a picture of it was called the Kabir building, posted right on my door frame when I walk in and out of my office every day. It says "Work Harder" written across it in a Sharpie. So customer service, definitely making our product as best that it can be, and
making it here in the U.S. as well.
Yeah, and that wasn't something that we always did. It was some Chinese stuff that we quote unquote Frankenstein. But
yeah, you got to graduate there. It's not cheap shit
right.
to do, especially when you get into manufacturing and volume.
It's a lot more expensive. It's a lot harder. Anybody can call China, email them, and say, "Hey, put my name on that. Send it over here."
White label.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah,
making it here, finding the proper people and the channels, the packaging. The packaging was a big deal. To find somebody to make me a box here for under $12 for a colored box. It's tough.
It's very tough. I've been in e-commerce for many years, and just for the supplements that we were doing, to find a good quality box that was going to get through the shipping and end up in the customer's hands, still look like a box. It's not easy to find that shit here.
Right. A lot of lessons learned to get to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah. I can share in some of those lessons, definitely.
And that's what we need to pass on. Because not everybody needs to go through the troubles that I've gone through or you've gone through. There's a lot of the failures are the things that you always remember.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they're always in the forefront of your mind. Like, okay, we're definitely not doing that again.
Yeah. I always say it, I learn 10 times more from my failures than I have my successes. And that's why it's important to have them. And it keeps you on your toes and keeps you wiser and smarter and working harder. And I like that you're here in America, doing as much as you can here. You're also obviously employing people here. How big is your operation here locally?
I think right now I have 7 full-time employees. I have 1 part-time. And 1 contractor, which is an outside sales rep.
How big are the facilities that you have here?
I think we have 4,200 square feet, and then we're getting some bids to do a 2-story. It's going to be another 4,800.
Gotcha.
We need that for the manufacturing side. Right now, if we were just doing assembly before, we've got room for that. We've got room for our warehouse, but we don't have room for 10,000 units of each model to sit on the shelf to be assembled in a full assembly line, and that's what we need the extra space for.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm asking is because our audience is looking to get into producing their own products and manufacturing and in-housing it. They need to realize what really goes into producing a product. It's not just, you can't just buy it all, white label it and sell it. You can if you want to be selling the cheap shit like everybody else, but if you really want to have integrity in your product and make it something special and make it unique, do it here locally. It takes a lot of overhead. At what point was it that did you decide to start in-housing your product? How long ago was that?
So in the beginning, I realized that we need to make ourselves different. We can't just Frankenstein some other Chinese junk and put it together and expect that to last. So how are we going to make ourselves different? That was always the question. How are we going to make our products better? Okay, well, we're doing all the assembly. We're doing all the warranty. So right there, that narrows it down to about 4 LED lighting companies, Rigid being one of them, just basically the big players.
Sure.
All the other guys, if you have a warranty, they throw it in the corner, send a picture to China, and get another one, or get compensated for it, where we fix everything. And so we realized that to stand out and to be different and to make the best quality product, we're going to have to do this stuff ourselves. And I've been screwed over too many times by China when I give them my ideas. Next thing you know, my competitor over here has got it on his shelf before I even get my sample.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it, you have to do it yourself, and you have to keep things secret. It's hard. People like to talk about things that they do all day. People like to talk about exciting innovations. You know, it's something that excites you. The reason you get up in the morning, you want to tell your friends. And it's hard not to.
Yeah, it is.
And that's kind of where we're at now. We've got some patents that aren't pending yet, that haven't been submitted, that we're finalizing. We've got a lot of products that are just samples and demos of the next curve. I say the next big thing for the LED lighting market, and it's not just the marine side or the automotive side, all of LED lights. I mean, if we could make an LED light last 10 times longer, I mean, if it's supposed to last 7 years right now, 50,000 hours, and we think we can make it last 30 years, I mean, that's huge.
That's pretty significant.
Right. And we're on that cutting edge right now. We just have to make sure we can cross our T's and dot our I's.
That's crazy. That's good. 30, I mean, thinking of a light lasting 30 years is retarded.
Well, what fails with the light? You get either the housing falls apart, you know, so it's going to be some kind of metal that's not going to last in a corrosive environment.
Okay.
And we're eliminating that. The LEDs overheat or can't dissipate the heat properly with the housing that's failing. So we're eliminating that. And then it's just the lifetime of the LED itself. And on that lifetime of the LED, if it's 50,000 hours, it depends on the temperature and the voltage that it's running at. So if we have that LED at a lot lower temperature, it's going to last longer.
Sure. It's common sense. I'm sure there's a lot of science behind it.
It's pretty easy stuff, no?
Yeah, but it's a lot of common sense. And one thing I want to touch on earlier, you're talking about a patent. And I know that getting a patent is a pain in the ass. It's expensive. It takes time. What has been your experience? And obviously, you're applying for a patent, and you can't get into the details of what it is or what it's for necessarily. But I'd love to hear what that process is like.
I'm not a fan of patents. Not at all. I don't believe in them. It's just I'm the kind of guy where if you're going to build something, build it now. And if people are copying you, you did it right. And by the time they're copying you, you better be working on something else.
Sure. That's a good way to look at it.
Patents are great for chemical compositions. They're great for certain things. But for a design patent or for material that's common knowledge, all we're doing is putting it into a different configuration, if you will. The patent doesn't really do anything. All you have to do is change one thing.
Yeah.
The patent will give us some security against larger companies, but it's not going to give us any security against China. It's not going to give us any security against small guys.
Yeah, because China will copy it all day long and sell it to whoever because they don't care.
Right.
And other people will still buy it and stick their label on it because they don't care.
Right.
And there's not enough lawyers and money flowing to just go after every guy out there that's trying to white label or knock off your stuff.
A funny story, when I was in my garage, I got 5, it was all in one package, but it was 5 letters of, what did they call it? It was from Rigid, from their attorney group. It was a big packet that I got served with cease and assist. And so I'm going through this, I'm like, hold on, guys, I'm doing $50,000 a year here, you know, I just started. And you're sending me a cease and assist from 5 different things with pictures and documentation. First, it scared me.
Yeah, sure.
And then,
as it would anyone.
Right. And then I was like, you know what?
I'm doing it right.
I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
These guys are scared. And look at me. And I just started this stuff, you know, working after hours, 8 to midnight. And now I'm getting a letter from the biggest player out there. So it ended up being motivation. I still have them.
Yeah, I should hang that up on the wall.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good when that comes in. You got the biggest company in the game sending you a cease and desist. Mm-hmm. You know you're doing something right.
Right.
Congratulations on that for sure. Me
and the owner met at SEMA the next year, and definitely we're not friends. Not a nice guy. He's about twice my size. You know, I'm almost 6 foot, you know, 220, and I think he's probably 6'6", 300.
Damn.
He's a big boy, so I stayed away from him. But definitely, you know, he had a whole crew, and I think every LED light company that was on his radar got those letters that year, and none of them were valid. they were just
Scare
reaching their
tactics.
scare tactics for sure.
Yeah, I've had those once or twice as well. And for some of the little guys though, it comes down to, can you afford to fight it, or have the balls to stand up against it? That's one of the things that is important as a entrepreneur and owning your own business, especially if you're going to get into products, is having the right types of insurances in place so that anything does come up like that, your insurances will, if you get the right ones, they will protect you so that you can hire attorneys. The insurance covers it in situations like these. Now, get with your insurance agent. Don't hold me liable for that, because it really depends what coverages you have. But in certain cases, that's when you have to have the big policies to cover your ass in those situations. And easily it'll put, I have a buddy that, I won't even get into what he's doing because I don't want to throw a red flag on him, but he's in a clothing line industry, and there are some competitors who have sent him a cease and desist, and it was more of a scare tactic. They really didn't have anything on him, but it's scary as shit. And he's a little guy; he can't afford to fight it. He didn't even, have enough money to call a lawyer to ask them questions to see if it's legit or not. So what do? It's scary shit.
Yeah, I'm just you go off your gut. If you think if you're really stealing something, then you'll know.
Yeah.
But if you're doing what you think is best with common products, common knowledge, and just putting into an assembly that's similar, go for it, man. Keep going.
Yeah,
Don't stop.
I like that. That's good advice. I'll keep people going. So I want to jump back over to the marketing side of the business. Where are you selling? Where can people find your products?
We're in a lot of automotive aftermarket stores. Used to be truck fitters. Now it's I think they were ranch hand truck fitters. Now they're big Tex trailers.
Familiar with them. So you're in a lot of brick and mortars.
A lot of brick and mortars in the Texas area. Once you get out of Texas, not so much. Then we're just either OEM or e-commerce.
Okay. And when you're on e-commerce, what different platforms are you on? Obviously your website.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Just our website, which we use Shopify, which is one of the best ideas or the best platforms that we've ever used.
It's a great shopping cart platform. Were you with anybody before Shopify and you moved to them?
Oh yeah, I've gone through them all.
Yeah. What were some of those experiences?
I started with Vistaprint. That one was actually probably the best.
Really?
And then when I went from Vistaprint, I went to a company I'd met at SEMA. They were out of Michigan or something. They were terrible because every time you wanted to make a change, you had to call them, send an email, and they would do it for you. You didn't have access to it.
Yeah, and they would charge you for it?
Right. That was a nightmare. And then I went with the local guy that had all the air conditioning and the restaurants and the dentist office. And he was really knowledgeable, but he spread so thin that I couldn't get time for him to work on my website. And if I had to buy his time, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And then he had it on a kind of a self-pay so that I could work on it, but it wasn't the right platform. It was some platform out of Hong Kong, I forgot the name of it. So then I said, you know what, man, I'm doing my own thing. I'm using Shopify. And we did that January 1st, 2018, and it's been one of the best decisions.
Yeah, it's an amazing platform, and I recommend it to most of my clients that do e-commerce. We use it for some of our e-commerce companies as well. I love it, and all the automation and everything else. So are you on any other marketplaces like Amazon or Walmart.com or any of these other ones?
We did all the linkage, if you will. We've got everything set up. I've got a couple products on eBay. I've got a couple products on Amazon, more just to prove that I got them in there. Mm-hmm. And I did it the hard way instead of paying someone, but I don't keep up with it. I don't pay attention to it. Every once in a while, if we sell something on Amazon, I'm like, oh, wait, that's crazy. We sold something on Amazon.
Yeah.
But no, it's not an avenue that we go after.
And is that because you're doing enough business direct that you just don't feel the need to?
Well, I don't think you can ever do enough business. It's just that our time is set aside for a bunch of different things, and business to business is our main thing.
Okay, gotcha.
So I realized that years ago is that, I can go and I could sell my products to you, and then now you can go and sell it to everyone else for me.
Sure.
It's a lot easier than me making that sales pitch over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense, especially for the online sales. Do you allow your retailers to sell your products on Amazon?
Right now, it's not written in the terms and conditions, as long as it's listed at the
map pricing.
The map pricing.
Gotcha. Makes sense. What do you do right now to generate business, to generate leads for marketing a company like this? People that want to get into e-commerce, that are selling a product, especially one that they're developing or manufacturing here locally. What have you seen, of the different techniques or tactics that you've done? What has worked for you? What do you like? what has eaten your fucking lunch and wasted a bunch of money?
The best thing is trade shows, believe it or not. Much as I hate them, I hate trade shows.
Why do you hate them?
Because I've done so many of them.
Yeah.
It's just the grind of the trade show. It's the different lifestyle, living on the road, packing that trailer up, putting the booth together, and then tearing it right back down. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money.
Let's talk about that for a little bit. When you do these trade shows, is it like a tour where you're going to be gone for several months?
It can be. I mean, try driving a 32-foot enclosed trailer and a big truck all the way to Miami, and then you're there for a week and a half, and then you got to drive back. I mean, it's like a tour.
And if somebody's starting to get into this and they want to hit the trade shows and they've got big products that they need to put on display where they need a big truck to do that, you know, if you can't afford a truck, what's the way to start out to get all your shit hauled there so that you can set up? I'm sure you had to go struggle with that at some point.
No, I always had a truck.
Okay.
And I had a trailer. You know, I could load some stuff and redneck engineer some straps on there. We have never shipped our stuff just because.
I guess that's the way to do it too. Just load up a.
I'm too OCD to let somebody else set up my booth. I don't even trust anybody driving my truck hardly.
Sure.
I mean, I'm going to drive it. I'm going to set up the booth. I'm going to make sure if I'm putting $10,000 into a trade show that it's going to be done the way I want it. And if it fails, then it's on me. But I don't want to point the finger and be out saying, oh, well, you should have done it this way. I can't believe we wasted that money.
Back in those days when you were getting started, not now because I know y'all are real big, but back then, you know, what size booth were you getting when you were initially setting up?
10 by 10. I still do a 10 by 10.
Really?
Yeah.
And what type of orders do you see coming in from those? Do you sell orders while you're there and get people to sign up and do purchase orders, or is it more to just show off the product? Is it more B2B, or are all the consumers walking by? Share a little bit of that information.
So it's always about the B2B. At the end of the day, that's why I'm there. Okay, that's what brought me there. Now, if I can sell some goods while I'm there, and if it pays for the booth and pays for my fuel and my tolls and all that, that's awesome.
Sure.
And so we used to load this big trailer up and bring all these goods and all these lights and different sizes and different colors and every make and model. And we'd carry them into the booth and set it up. And we're paying double because we had to have a 10 by 20 or a 20 by 20 booth. And we just realized it's like the light bulb went off. We're like, why are we bringing all this? We'll just drop ship it. They need it? Here, go to our app right here. Bam, it's ordered. You'll get it tomorrow or you'll get it on Monday.
That's a good setup right there. So you just bring enough for displays,
Mm-hmm.
and if they want to buy it, you can drop ship it and have it there in a day or two.
I ship it for free. You get my trade show pricing, which I usually do about 20% off, and I'm shipping it to you for free.
And they get it in 2 days by the time they get home.
A lot of times they'll get it before they're even home.
That's
Just
awesome.
depends where the show's at. But yeah, it makes life a lot easier for me.
That's a smart tactic right there. So if y'all are going to be doing trade shows out there, that is something very wise that I've never thought about, because I've done some car shows back in the day with some lines I had is set it up, have your display there, sell it to them, let them buy right there, drop ship to them, and you save all the fucking headaches of, I'm sure there's a lot of expenses.
Just think of shirts. I mean, you have to have every different color and every different size. Well, you have to bring all those SKUs, keep them from getting wrinkled, put them up, hang them up. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
Ship it for free.
It was a nightmare. Damn. I wish I'd have known you back then. You'd have saved me a lot of headaches. So tell me, was there ever a moment in this business, you know, over the last couple years, and sometimes in business you have several years that are good, they're going in the right direction, you're growing, and then there's a oh shit moment where you made a bad decision or something didn't go right or you took a big loss because somebody did something. Did you ever have that oh shit moment after you got running where you thought that your back was against the wall and this might not work?
I can't say I have. I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes, but none of them were the oh shit, where how am I going to get out of it?
What was one of those big mistakes you made that you can share with us?
Inventory is probably one of the hardest things that I have to do. It's a constant battle to make sure that my liquid cash is now transformed into inventory on the shelf. And how do I forecast what the customer is going to want? I can always, if I have the parts, I can make it. So we really streamline our inventory when we went to doing our own assembly on everything. Because now I can keep a 30-inch housing or a 50-inch housing or just long pieces of extruded housing with the end caps and the hardware, and we can build it when it's ordered. Where before, if I had to have a 30-inch straight, 30-inch curve, 30-inch white, then I had to have it in red, green, blue, infrared, MX, which is orange, amber and white, red and white, and then the white 3-watt and the white 5-watt. That's a lot of different SKUs for one product that looks the same.
That is.
So inventory has always been a nightmare.
So that's been one of your biggest challenges in the business.
If I put too much money, $50,000 in a product that I think is really going to be the next big thing, and it doesn't sell, well, they're sitting there on the shelf, and now I've got this product over here that sells that I can't afford to buy it anymore. I can't get the parts because I'm broke. Yeah. All my money's sitting over here.
It's all tied up in inventory. Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
That's something that could definitely, if I was going to go under, that would be one.
It'd be inventory.
Mm-hmm. Especially building all these lights ourselves now. If I put all of my profits, say I put all the money I ever made, I got $100,000, and I put it into this new product that I think is the next best thing since sliced bread, and it doesn't sell, I'm out.
Yeah, and you're taking it, and there's nobody else to take the hit for you.
You'll see me on the side of the road selling LED light bars out back of my truck.
I'll pick you up, brother. I'm sure we'll figure out something.
I'm going to hustle somewhere, but it's not going to be in that big warehouse.
When I see the hat, SEMA 2019, were you at SEMA? Do y'all take cars up there, or do y'all just set up booths and show off the lights?
I go to SEMA every year.
Just check it out.
Once that automotive market was so saturated, never set up a booth. I go there and I'm just looking at my competitors, making sure there's no products out there that are innovative that are going to be ahead of me in this following year. So everybody releases their new products there. I'm there more as a spy.
Yeah, so you're in there doing some competitor research, some competitor spying. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're checking to see what's on the market, what's coming out next. That was one of the things I was having a discussion earlier about market saturation and how technology can cause market saturation. And I'll use T-shirts as an example. If everybody's been doing silkscreen printing for 20 years and there's 100 T-shirt companies all producing the same T-shirts, what separates you? Mm-hmm. And then if somebody comes out with direct-to-garment print shop and everything is DTG now, that now is going to leave all the silk screeners in a saturated market because you now have the new technology and can do shit a different way. So
technology and inventory are the two things that will kill you.
Yeah. Well, and you're smart enough to know how and when to stay ahead of that, so it's not an issue. So going through this process, you've been in business, what 2010 pretty much, so 9 years now, roughly? Maybe 7 or 8 of those were actual business before it was Frankenstein in it. When did you finally have that aha moment that, you know what, this is going to work and we're going to be all right, my family's going to be all right?
Still haven't had that.
Really?
No, I'm nowhere near done.
Yeah, and it's not about being done.
It's not. There's not a moment that I go to bed and then I think, hey man, I'm doing good. I don't have to worry about all this. It never stops. And I think I work harder now than I did when I started. My wife calls me a workaholic. Also calls me super OCD. But it's the drive that gets me up out of bed. It's what motivates me. Some people have hobbies, like you said. You used to go to the mud parks and tear up your side-by-side and four-wheelers. I used to do that, and that was my hobby. Now I found a hobby that makes me money. Yeah,
I share in that. Definitely. Definitely get that. So you mentioned a wife. Do you have any kids?
Yeah, she had 2 boys when I met her in the previous, and then we had a baby together. She's 19 months now.
Congratulations.
So
boy or girl?
Girl. Which it was planned that way, paybacks and a girl is daddy's girl. Yeah. So I'd never felt that kind of love before. So it's really, I'm glad that it was a girl. I was really disappointed at first, but everything works out for a reason.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I got 4 of them, and that's what it's all for, right? It's all about the family and the kids and building a life for them. And it's good that we're able to do something that we love doing and we enjoy, and it is a hobby. I did a vlog the other day. It's if you go to work and you don't like your work, then change it. There's a
lot of people that are stuck in their ways and they don't like change. They just do the same thing over and over. And you have to stick your head out of that shell sooner or later. Do what's best for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, much respect for what you've done. What is next for Plash Lights?
All these new products is what's next. That's really what we're putting everything in one ship, and we're hoping that it floats. I know it will. I've always kind of done things that I think are cool, and not to pat myself on the back, but I think it's cool, somebody else, maybe a few people, are going to think it's kind of cool too, and they're going to want it. and that's where I think this is going. You know, I think everybody's going to think this is cool and they're going to want it.
It is cool, and you've done a great success thus far, and you're continuing to move in that direction. You're making a splash. You're disrupting your space in the lighting business. You know, before when you were looking up to some of these other guys or getting ideas from them, you know, now they're looking to you, and you've grown a big, successful company. So much love, congratulations to you for doing that. And if y'all are looking for LED lights of any kind for automotive, marine, ATVs, UTVs, any of that shit, we even had where we saw you wrapped up a whole business out on the beach, and you know, any application that needs lights, you can get it at plashlights.com. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to Steven directly. Dude's cool as shit. He'll be more than happy to discuss that with you. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you need to get a hold of Steven, we're going to put his information down in the comments so you can reach out to him directly. Plashlights.com. I'm Jonathan Wiseman. This is The Grit, and I appreciate y'all tuning in.